I'm not going to be mad at Nick. I do want to go over his he's got preseason QB tiers. Now, I always put mine on the Kirk Cousins scale. He has elite, near elite, very good, functional, potentially washed. Verdict is out, danger zone, and GTFOH, which is get out of here. And he wrote anything with the Saints and Anthony Richardson. Already out on Anthony Richardson.
It seems like most people tend to be right.
Danger zone, Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams' danger zone is interesting. I could see where he's feeling this on danger zone with Caleb Williams because it's like, hey, man, it's year 2. You've given him a ton. I mean, that is a fantasy football team and fantasy football teams on offense. Now, I know that they've also invested in their offensive line, so I'm like, well, how can they protect them if they've got these guys out of free agency? You know, because my whole thing, like I've argued this with Nathan about the Bears before, and this was off air. You know, he goes, well, they've made investments in their offensive line. I go, yeah, but offensive line play is at its biggest premium that it's been in years because these guys come out and they're playing different positions now. They really don't know what they're doing. So if guys become available, it's like, well, how good can they really be? Maybe they got a really good offensive line coach over there in Chicago. Maybe they'll be able to do it. Plus, you add in that, you know, all this stuff is coming out in the book about how his dad did not want him to play for the Bears, that they were going to do John Elway type stuff. Like, if he goes out there and he sucks up the room this year, I don't think you have any excuse with the type of weaponry that you have. And that's a fan base that's a very strong cold weather Midwestern fan base, which means that they do not take kindly to people who say they don't want to be in their city. We've seen greatness in our city. They've seen greatness in their city, and they don't like it, no matter if it's football, baseball, basketball, whatever. So it could be ugly with him. The other three, I totally agree. I mean, Justin Fields.
I guess when I look at a quarterback tier list, though, yeah. I immediately go to the top to see who doesn't belong in the top.
We'll go right on ahead.
Like, he has Jalen Hurts an elite. I don't think Jalen Hurts is remotely elite. I think if you put him on 30 other football teams, he is nowhere near a Super Bowl.
Well, he is okay.
Or I would say 27 other teams. Because if you put them on the good teams, the really good teams.
Well, ask yourself this. It's not just, I like that, but I also want to kind of reverse it. And maybe I'm just speaking in a different language.
Yeah, but the bottom guys, they're so, like, Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones.
Well, Daniel Jones and Russell Wilson, I don't think are controversial. I wasn't going to waste time on them. Justin Fields is a quarterback that a lot of people here wanted.
They did?
Yeah, hell yeah. We were getting calls and tweets the whole time how we were going to rue the day about Justin Fields.
Not even, like maybe 3 years ago.
This happened this last winter. We were getting that stuff. He is a former Buckeye. I think he's the quarterback that everybody wants, but nobody wants to start.
I think he stinks.
Hey, I'm not really going to fight you that much on that. I thought the Caleb Williams take was controversial. That's why I started there. But
Caleb Williams, it's obviously God-given abilities. I wouldn't write his career off now. Justin Fields, I'd write off. I think he's done.
With Jalen Hurts, you got to ask yourself how many quarterbacks will win a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think if you can name...
Yeah, like Joe Burrow 100% would.
Yeah, so if you can name 5-6 other guys.
I don't understand how Joe Burrow is the near elite and Jalen Hurts is elite. Just switch the teams.
Well,
I think Jalen Hurts would have won a lot less games in Cincinnati than Joe Burrow has. There's no chance Jalen Hurts would have taken Cincinnati to the Super Bowl.
You go to this. I mean, he's got Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. No one's arguing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, with Jalen Hurts, I have a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts, but I think he's impossible to put into a category.
It's a tough one. I do agree.
Burrow, yeah. Stafford, Jaden Daniels, all could have won a Super Bowl with that team. Jared Goff, Dak.
Yeah, Goff's team was pretty loaded in Detroit.
Dak.
So I think Goff is probably properly rated.
I think Dak's more very good to functional than I think.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
Justin Herbert, I mean, I think that the media overrates Justin Herbert, but I still think that he's very good. All right, you want...
I wouldn't put Herbert in the near. I'd put Herbert, according to these categories, I'd bump him down to very good.
Okay, I'm still with the Jalen Hurts thing for a second because I'm going down the list of guys who could win a Super Bowl with these guys, with the Eagles.
With the Eagles, who are so stacked.
Okay, C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, Bo Nix. C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, Bo Nix. I think C.J. Stroud, I don't know about Jordan Love or Bo Nix yet.
I don't know that. I wouldn't put any of those guys in that list. Yeah,
C.J. Stroud did take a step back last year. All right, here's the one. Baker Mayfield.
Baker, it's a great question. So he basically has Baker in the third tier. He has elite, near elite, then very good. That was the only thing that bothered me. I normally go top to bottom, right? Like
it kind of goes
to
up
right
and down.
and then go down. But
it kind of goes up and down.
Baker is interesting because he has rebounded. He's totally saved his career. I thought he was going to be out of the league after the Carolina disaster, right?
Yeah.
And then he bounced around. He went to the Rams. And then in Tampa, he has been really, really good in the regular season.
Now they win the division down there, but it's not a great division.
It's a terrible division, but man, he's been good.
He's been very good.
Way better than I thought he could be.
You can never accuse the guy of not playing well with good weapons. And he's got good weapons, and that defense has been pretty solid for the most part for him. He's thrown a ton of touchdowns. I think that, Baker Mayfield, this is why I can't put Jalen Hurts in the elite. Because
he had 41 touchdown passes last year.
I don't think Baker Mayfield is an elite quarterback. I think that where Nick has him isn't very good. But I think Baker Mayfield would absolutely be a Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think absolutely. I think once you get to like Brock Purdy, I mean, he's had a really good team around him too. And I love Brock, but I don't know if he's getting there. Then Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Tua. No, like I don't find those guys in there. With the potentially washed guys, he has Joe Flacco and potentially washed. I think it's kind of too easy to put Joe Flacco and potentially washed because he's 40 years old. I think that's just about where he is. He's got Aaron Rodgers and potentially washed.
I mean, okay, so
rival quarterbacks in the same division, in the same category.
If I were in any other city but Cleveland, I would jump to say that Joe Flacco is washed. Wouldn't you?
Would you put him? He
was on a bad team last year and was a bad quarterback. That's washed, right?
They tried. Anthony Richardson quit on the team, so they brought him in. They said, "It's not
would
working,"
you?
And they went back to Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, so you'd say washed if you were in any other city but Cleveland. Right. But you can't say it in Cleveland because you want to hope that Joe Flacco is
the
good
memory
enough.
Of what happened.
And yes, he took him to the playoffs 2 years ago down the stretch.
So would you then? So hold on. So you would put Aaron Rodgers. Joe Flacco would be. So would you put him in the GTFOH category?
Right, he doesn't have a category called washed, but I don't understand the danger zone.
Fully washed.
Like Russell Wilson's done. Daniel Jones is done. Those two are over. So they should be in the worst category.
I would say
Justin Fields, worst category. Like all those guys to me, along with, yes, Joe Flacco should be in that category. Bottom of the barrel starters.
I think Nick, because Nick is an Ohio State fan, right?
Yes.
He hosted the podcast.
You better.
I think because of the Buckeye thing, he put him in the danger zone where I think he really knows the truth. Russell Wilson, I think you can take all those guys out of the danger zone and just put them in the GTFOH category.
I don't think you need a danger
except
zone.
Except for Caleb Williams. I think the Caleb Williams thing is interesting.
Okay, yeah, Caleb Williams should be in that category
guys,
probably by himself. Rodgers and Cousins, when they're healthy, I think they can still play. I don't expect Aaron Rodgers to be like fully mobile, healthy Aaron Rodgers.
All right, verdict is out. Drake May, Bryce Young, Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy. Drake May, they love him, and there's so many people saying he's about to take flight in New England. I'd put him in that category.
Yeah, like his numbers were worse than Mac Jones's rookie numbers in New England, but they love him.
Bryce they almost ruined in Carolina. Michael Penix Jr. is exciting. J.J. McCarthy, we just have no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
We just have no clue. I know that because there were a lot of people that were like, during the season 2 years ago, I think there were a lot of people who started to grow into the J.J. McCarthy thing, and then he was the darling that is like, man, look how he's throwing open guys on third down, and look how he's able to throw them open over the middle on third down. This guy can actually be something special. But I think that he's a guy that is a total, yes, verdict is out guy. As much as I wanted to rip Nick's quarterback tiers, with the exception of Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams and a couple others, I kind of like his tiers.
I would bounce
kind of down with Nick's tiers.
Bo Nix, I would bounce down to functional. I do not think he's very good.
I would put him to verdict is out because he's only a second-year player. Yeah. So I'd put him back to verdict is out. Functional is like, hey, you're a functional QB. That's who you are, and that's it.
I'd move Jared Goff down to very good from near elite.
Ooh, okay.
I think he's a very good quarterback.
Now, you're a Chargers hater. Real quick, what would you do with Justin Herbert?
I'd probably put him in very good too, verging on functional. But very good.
The Goff thing's interesting. He's now done it for 2 teams, different coaches. He's put up massive numbers.
There's just not a wow
Detroit.
factor to me. I think you got to have a wow factor too.
Okay. Should I let this influence my tiers coming up later? Not today. I haven't made it.
No,
yet.
you've got to act like the jury when they're instructed to disregard everything else you've seen or read about this trial.
So I'm not gonna read any of their replies. I didn't read their I don't know if they did a segment on it. I didn't listen to it on purpose yesterday because I felt that they were gonna do a segment. I don't want him and their arguments to influence me. I didn't want that to happen.